Now, a disgustingly long time ago when I was young, I'm 37 now, so I'm not going to say specifically, but I was a little boy. The first ever games console I had was some form of Atari. I've spoken about it before in another video. However, the first time I actually properly fell in love with gaming was with the NES in the 1990, 91, I think, and it just blew my mind, and I became addicted and basically a avid video gamer ever since. And I just wanted to put together my personal top 10 list for the NES games. Now, this is my personal preference. Please pop yours in the comments down below. This is not the be-all end-all. I'm not saying this should be everybody's favourites. These are just mine. But starting off with Ninja Gaiden, which is an amazing game. It handles really well. You can wall climb and jump, and it just handles solidly, and it's a really good game. There's been a new Ninja Gaiden released, or releasing, I believe, Ninja Gaiden 4. I've not been up to scratch with more modern gaming news, if I'm honest. I'm kind of taking myself away from that kind of bollocks. But with Ninja Gaiden here on the NES, it's a damn good game, and one that I always put on and play. You can collect special power-ups, which is really cool, throw ninja stars and all that kind of stuff, but it's just one of those games that just everything works correctly and works the way you want it to, and if you nail the controls as well, specifically on these older games as well as graphics, that's it. That's the key. Gameplay is key, and here with Ninja Gaiden, it's damn awesome. Up next is the original Castlevania. This game is wicked. It has an awesome soundtrack. It's a lot of fun to go through. Obviously, much with a lot of these older games, it's not super long, no. However, it does have a good amount of secrets in it as well, and enemies, and again, power-ups that you can get via attacking the candles. It also, as a child, took me a long time to figure out that the hearts that you collect are actually for item usages and not for your health, as that confused the crap out of me. But besides that, Castlevania is obviously a franchise that has gone up until modern day. Unfortunately, there's been nothing super recent come out for Castlevania, although the anime that came out on Netflix was actually really good, and I did enjoy that, so that's worth a watch. But the original Castlevania game you can get in a Castlevania collection that Konami have done, which again is really awesome. There is, of course, other methods for you to play the game, but either way, Castlevania is definitely worth playing through. It does have its challenges, of course, as it's designed to keep you trying and keep you getting better and playing, but it is just such an iconic game. Up next is a late one for the NES, and that is Kirby. Kirby is, wow, he's awesome. I mean, obviously the game's on the easy side, as it's obviously more aimed towards children, with you being able to suck in enemies and absorb their powers. Obviously the pixel art style for the game is obviously really, really good, and just everything you can do with Kirby, the little pink whatever the hell he is, it's just a lot of fun to play. Just chuck it on and get going. I'd really like them to do a Switch port, an updated version of Kirby's Epic Yarn. I really like that game for the Wii. I thought that game was really cool. But here, Kirby for the NES is definitely worth playing if you haven't had the opportunity to. There are backup copies available, obviously, or if you're a video game collector, I'm fairly certain you probably already got Kirby. But here, Kirby is it's easy but fun. Up next, I've chosen a Mega Man 2. Obviously, I like all the Mega Man games, but Mega Man 2 for me, because my cousins had it, and I borrowed it off them or played it over their house whenever I went over there. Now, obviously, much like with all the other NES games, Mega Man especially kicks my ass, and I've only ever beaten Mega Man 11, which is shocking, and that's only because it had a basic bitch easy mode for scrubs like me. But I am trying to do the other Mega Man games. I have all the collections, the bundles, so I got save states and all that, and I'm trying, okay? I am trying. They are so hard, but they are so good as well, especially Mega Man 2. It has a great soundtrack, it has really good level design, and it's just a really fun game. Obviously mega challenging as well. Up next is the original Metroid. Now, I've never beaten the original Metroid, however, I've put a lot of time into it. I put a lot of time into it over 30 years ago, and I've been playing through it more recently after I've just done Metroid Prime, and I'm just gearing myself up for Metroid Prime 4, which I still hope is coming out this year in 2025. But the original Metroid is just really cool. These games where you just get dropped onto this world, and if you didn't have the manual, you would be screwed. But then you just kind of figure out where to go and collect things, and it's just one of those games, and one of the earlier ones, I think, alongside of obviously Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, where you can just go where you can go, you know. And obviously with Metroid you have to gain the different abilities like the Morph Ball and etc. to be able to then access new areas, different areas, hidden areas, blah blah blah. So Metroid really does stand out, especially within the NES market with that. It went by, in my friend group and at the schools I went to, relatively unknown. Not a lot of people knew about it. I obviously had it, I knew what it was, but I didn't realise how big of a franchise it would become. And I'm glad it has, because Metroid is awesome and Samus Aran is awesome as well. Then we have the original Zelda. Now, I've only ever beaten this once, and it kicked my ass then, and that was more recently. I never completed this as a kid. This game was obviously super hard when it came out. It just dropped you down. You then have to figure out where the hell to go and what to do. Now, it does come with like a little, if I remember rightly, was there like a starter guide or a guide or something in the box? Or there was maybe a phone number that you could call Nintendo and get charged. You get absolutely rinsed out the ass for money to find out where to go and what to do. I can't remember, but obviously with the modern day with the internet, you can just type up Legend of Zelda walkthrough and boom, there you go. But we didn't have that in the early 90s, okay? That was not a thing. But the Legend of Zelda obviously is iconic. The music is iconic. Link is iconic. The gameplay, the enemies, is all done. I'm currently going through The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake, and I'm playing it on the Switch too, which is actually nice to play it without it stuttering all over the place, which is the way it should have ran on Switch. So I'm not saying Nintendo were in the right there. It's nice having the Switch 2 being able to play all these games at their solid frame rates, but they should have been working at launch. But anyway, that's a tangent. But here with the original Legend of Zelda, it just will always stay with me as one of my favourite game franchises of all time. Up next is the awesome Battletoads. Now this one was developed by Rare, and of course it's now available in the Rare Replay collection thing over on Xbox, which I wish Xbox would make that third party and bring it out over to Steam or Switch or whatnot. I think that would be incredibly awesome of them if they could do that. And yeah, what can I say about Battletoads that's not already been said? This is a game that is synonymous with being difficult, especially with that hover bike level, and it just has some great animations for the time of it coming out. It has some really funny animations, it has some really cool boss fights, some really great level design when it's not trying to be absolutely brutal towards you, and it's just a fun beat 'em up, and just has an iconic, again, another iconic soundtrack from the NES. But like I said, if you have a Xbox or a Game Pass, it's on the Rare Replay, which you probably already knew anyway. There is a more recent Battletoads game that's come out, which is not bad. People are shitting on it, but it's not a bad game at all in the slightest. But yeah, Battletoads is. I had a lot of fun back in the day. It's a game I've never beaten. A lot of NES games I never beat, but I put so much time into them as a child that they are just basically part of my bloodstream. Jurassic Park was obviously a massive film for all of us in 92, 93, whenever it came out, and I still remember my birthday and the year my dad came home and handed me Jurassic Park for the NES, and that was it. It's one of my favourite games. I was happy to see there was a Jurassic Park game collection come out, even if it is a little underwhelming. Like there's a dinosaur fighting game on the PlayStation, and there's also like a Lost World game on PlayStation, which I would have liked to have seen them be a part of the collection as well, but obviously it's probably down to licensing issues or Sony just being dicks. I don't know. Yeah, but there is a collection out there. I'd wait to get it on a really, really cheap sale, but you can play backup copies of this game, and this game is awesome. You run around trying to find eggs to get key cards to open doors, then you've got to go on a raft and avoid Brachiosaurus heads that are poking out of the water for some reason, and and then try and get up a river, and then you've got to avoid Triceratops stampedes, and then you got to fight the Tyrannosaurus whilst protecting one of the kids, and then you got to go into Raptor Pen. It's such a damn good game, and really hard, and had these question mark boxes scattered throughout, which may howled life, may blew up in your face. It screwed me over as a child a hell of a lot. I just kind of avoid them wherever I can. Now this is the controversial one. Taking second place for my top 10 is Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm fairly certain a lot of you are expecting this game to be on the list. It is a phenomenal platformer. It's one of the best 2D Mario games out there, if not the best. It has a great soundtrack, has great level design, had great power-ups. The world map is awesome, being able to pick where you were wanting to go and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely great. I mean, I don't think I could say a bad thing about Super Mario Bros. 3, but it's just an iconic game, and one that I will always keep playing until the end of my days because it's just so damn good. But yeah, obviously it takes second place, and don't hate me for it, because although I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is amazing and I played it a lot as a kid and I play it a lot now as an adult, it just unfortunately for me can't hold a candle to my number one spot. That's right, my number one spot is the absolutely brutal Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Once again, I had this game for a birthday or Christmas, and I fell in love with it instantly. The music, the intro, the music, the fact that you could play as all 4 turtles, just all of it. It's really good. Yes, it's super hard. It's kicked my ass. I've never beaten it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to do it on the Turtles game collection thing on Steam so I can get the achievement for completing it. But it's a difficult game, but it's a game I love. And I'm a really big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, and as I've gotten older, I've become more and more of a fan. I've got all the collection of the original comics. I've got other comics as well. Obviously, I own the 1990 movie on Blu-ray, just the one. I didn't get the sequels; they're hot trash. But the first film is absolute, and is an absolute banger. And I'm just hoping for more Turtles. I didn't mind the Michael Bay films. I liked them. I don't mind the more recent animated one, although I think it was a stupid idea have them go to high school at the end. That was really lame. But the rest of the movie was fine, but that was lame. But yeah, TMNT. Yes, it has the iconic disabling bombs under the dam level, which is absolutely brutal, and that's where most of your lives got wasted. But I tend to find, especially on the NES cartridge, if you got beyond that and out the other side into the next part of the game, it would sort of save your game almost. So even if you lost all your lives, you would respawn and you'd still be the other side of the dam. I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not, but it did, so I was thankful for that. But that's as far as I've ever gotten, and then that side of the dam, I just get the shit kicked out of me. But I can play TMNT forever and a day, and it is my jam. This game is my jam. The music sticks with me. I've even used plagiarized parts of the music and put it into music I've written for bands and stuff and done. Like the main riff at the beginning, I've sort of used that sort of in a chorus for one of the songs I did in an old band I was in a few years ago. But yeah, that's my top 10 list anyway for the NES. Please let me know in the comments what your top 10 is, and as always, thank you very much for watching.